Yeah, now I want to speak a bit today about a famous mohel of his time, Rabbi Shmuel Chamoula, Zecher Tzaddik Livracha, very famous rabbi of his time. He was born actually on January 30th in 1942, and he passed away on May the 17th in 2004 in New York. He was actually born in Egypt. He was actually from, I think it was famous rabbinical family, the Chamoula family was respectively. So let's explore through the highlights of the famous rabbi's life. Now, it's actually interesting. He was described as humble and unassuming. He hid his greatness from, let's say, casual eye in himself. He would become let's just say, a famous mohel. This is a rabbi that performs circumcision, specifically to Brit Milah, respectively. He was a great rabbi of the Syrian Sephardic community, I think for 40 years, approximately 4 decades. And interestingly, just the brilliance within regards to him. I want to say a few words within regards to him because the Chamoula family itself was a great rabbinic dynasty. Many great rabbis were. It was behind, let's say, his simple demeanor. He was a man of remarkable talent. I think he would bring greatness within regards to the mohel, Brit Milah in himself, and he was a great Talmid Chacham, a Torah student. He was also a Baal Koreh, a reader of the Torah. He was a Baal Tokeh. He would blow the shofar also on Rosh Hashanah. He was a cantor, a chazan, and a shochet, ritual slaughterer. So he was very, very much in the whole realm of a Jewish cycle law. He was very, very much well knowledge. He would speak 6 languages, including Syrian, Arabic, French, Spanish, Hebrew, English, and Moroccan Arabic, and was a native and was so authentic that native Moroccans didn't believe that he was actually really raised in Egypt and not Morocco. He also possessed an extremely sharp wit and was skilled at playing the keyboard and accordion, but few just say knew about such talents. And the modesty he had was absolutely second to none. And it's actually after he passed away sadly in 2004, dozens of his great exemplary deeds became revealed, which he tried to hide during his life. And many stories of selflessness, sacrifice, service to Hashem, service, helping his fellow man was absolutely amazing in of itself. One rabbi, I think, not even half the age of the great rabbi, told the mourners, I think at that point in time, that Rabbi Shmuel would stand up for him when he approached, simply because the mohel once heard one halacha, Jewish law, from him. So there's that idea over there. And when the mohel, let's say, answered the phone and someone asked to speak to Rav Shmuel, he would tell him or her, there is no Rabbi Shmuel here, I'm not a rabbi. In his efforts to avoid the spotlight, he didn't like the spotlight itself. He would not volunteer, let's just say, to the minyan, whether he had a milah on that day or not. Only the true determined were able to extract the information from him and thus adjust the praise accordingly. He would never speak about favors he did for others. And when his children would ask him questions about a good deed they had heard he performed from a grateful friend, he would interrupt or change the subject because he didn't want the spotlight, as well. Was so humble in of itself. He was born of a Syrian descent family, I think, to Shaul and Frida, I think, from the family of Hariri, respectively, over there. So he was born to them, and obviously in Alexandria, as we've spoken about. Rav Shmuel began learning, I think, and performing mitzvah. He was learning, training within regards to Brit Milah, and it was his father that requested him to do that. I think while still in Egypt in his early years, he would pay a significant amount of money for each opportunity when I think he would practice on Gentile babies. Come on, the year 1957, Rav Shmuel was brought to New York by Rabbi Avram Klemonsky, who was part of the Mir Yeshiva, I think, over there, and would complete his studies within regards to become a rabbi performing circumcision over there under the guidance of Rab Ronstein. His father was a right-hand man of Rabbi Chelfon Saftia, I think, Alav Shalom, from Alexandria in Egypt, and never would once see the Chacham Helfon walking without also seeing Rabbi Shaul Chamoula next to him. Very interesting enough. So Rabbi Chamoula volunteered to serve as a shamash, the assistant to the Rosh Yeshiva in Brooklyn, and I think for 5 years would study there, and would give breakfast to the rabbi every morning. Now, within regards to Ram Brit Milah, his family joined him in Brooklyn in the year 1962. Rabbi Chamoula stepped up to support them by working in the jewelry trade. He soon became prolific mohel, and Rabbi Chamoula did not regard this as his livelihood. He refused to accept payment for his services, reported over. This went on for the first 15 years. He was forming milot, Brit Milah over there. And I think he was close to Rabbi Avigdor Miller, if I'm not mistaken. And Rav Miller said, you have to take money. So Chacham Baruch, the great rabbi, said at the Yarayat, if he felt that the family couldn't afford it, or if the father was a Torah student, he did not allow them to pay. And it's interesting, another great rabbi, Rabbi David Ozeri, illustrated a point, I think at the time period of the Levaya, the funeral, with a personal account. After coming to check his baby on Friday, performing the Milah on Shabbat, and coming to check the boy both Saturday night, Motzei Shabbat, and Sunday, Rabbi Ozeri tried to hand him an envelope. He ran away from him like he saw fire, and he had to chase after him and said, please take it. And he said, no. This was actually reported over, just another story about his greatness also. And so that is another interesting tidbit within regards to him. Rabbi Shaul Kassin related over in the Levaya events of one particular morning when he accompanied Rabbi Shmuel on 3 different Brit Milahs, the first of Ahiezer, then Shari Tzion, and finally in Shore Boulevard. And this was a common occurrence for Rabbi Shmuel, and just busy the whole time. He loved his fellow man. The Avat Yisrael was on a very, very high level, let's just say. Another story was reported over that on the early hours of the morning. He received a call to become a mohel, received a call that a baby he had performed Milah on was crying. Although the name did not sound particularly familiar, without hesitating, he got up and went to the house. It turned out that he had done the Milah on the child 3 months earlier. A lesser man would surely have, let's say, maybe not been so happy about coming in the middle of the night, but he came straight away. Very much. Many countless stories was actually reported over from various different people, and especially from Rabbi Ozeri, respectively, over there. I think there's a rabbi named Rabbi Handelsman credits Rabbi Shmuel with literally saving his life. This was chronicled over. It was, I think, the 6th night of Hanukkah in the year 1975. After dropping off a check by Rabbi Kalmovitz's house, Rabbi Handelsman declined the option of taking a car service home and chose to walk, even though it was icy and extremely cold outside. As he came to the intersection on Quantin Road and Ocean Parkway, he was suddenly attacked by no less than 6 large dogs. He was petrified. After being knocked down at first, he jumped to his feet and ran in the middle of Ocean Parkway, where he was in mortal danger on 2 fronts. First from the dogs, whose bites had already penetrated the skin, and from them, let's just say, the cars who were speeding along the icy road. In the middle of the intersection, one dog threw the rabbi down on the ground. As Rabbi Handelsman actually tells it over, at that moment, like an angel, Rabbi Shmuel arrived with his car. He got out, and with one hand and with one foot, he was driving away the dogs, and with the other hand, let's say, he stopped the traffic. He picked the Rabbi Handelsman from the floor and took him into his car and took him straight to Maimonides Hospital, and was with him the whole night, and it just was basically by his side the whole time and helped to recuperate the rabbis, so on and so forth. With greatness, he hosted a lot of guests, for example, and I think it was Rabbi Yehuda Cohen, the Rosh Yeshiva of Yakirei Yerushalayim, would actually retail over to Rav Ozeri. Yakirei Yerushalayim is based in Jerusalem, I think next to the Makor Baruch in Geula neighborhood over there. We'll talk over great stories about how he hosts guests at various different times. It was like a veritable hotel, his place, where scores of rabbi would come over the years and stay there, especially other things. Purim meals, for example, all throughout the year, he would actually host people. And he had dedication to his rabbis. I think every Thursday night, he would go to the class of Rabbi Avigdor Miller. He was in charge of the tape recorder that would go on to spread Torah all throughout the world for thousands of classes, translated millions of tapes over 25 years. And absolutely staggering. I think even on nights when his son got married, it's reported over, Rabbi Shmuel excused himself quietly from the wedding call at 7:45 p.m. and went to Rabbi Miller's Gemara class, returning to 9:15 p.m. So it just showed Torah was the whole time on his mind, the whole time. It was like clockwork, especially talking over about the class of Rav Avigdor Miller in of itself. The devotion he had within regards to perpetuating Torah was absolutely amazing. You know, that's another topic that was on the realm of his self-control, was a hallmark of his. I think in 1977, when Chacham Shmuel went with an uncle to the hospital to visit another uncle who had suffered, unfortunately, a heart attack, and his companion said to him, "You know why we were visiting him?" And he pointed to a pack of cigarettes in the Mohel's pocket. In those days, Rabbi Shmuel was smoking, I think, cigarettes, but that one remark was all it took to put it to an end. He removed the box from his pocket, threw it to the trash, and never touched the cigarettes again. And what Rabbi Shmuel's learning in Torah belongs a lot to his wife, I think Juain, a Nishama, of 32 years. She encouraged, let's just say, not just supported his efforts and always willingly to sacrifice for the simplistic life he desired. Their modest home was constantly open to visitors and many prominent rabbis, let's just say, who frequented guests all throughout the decades. Hachnasat Orchim was a way of his life also, which was instilled constantly in his family, respectively, and was important to him. It's actually interesting, when Rabbi Shalom Shmuel, the famous Maggid, lecturer of Jerusalem, would come to New York, Rabbi Shmuel was his shamash over there. He would, even though he was working in jewelry initially, he would take time off, pick up the Maggid, and staying in Avenue M in Flatbush, would take him to the mikveh, to the Beit Bnei Yosef synagogue, and drive him around all day. A dedication to Torah mitzvot. Hacham Shemuel would give frequent trips to Jewish bookstores. He loved to buy new Sfarim, for example. He was very, very famous with regards to that, and would drive around other great people to buy. Honesty in business. In the jewelry district, his name was gold. Rabbi Shlomo recounted how when he entered the business many years after his father's semi-retirement, he walked into the office of wholesalers with nothing but his name. It turned out to be all that he needed over there. And just the mere name of his father would actually bring about huge amounts of industry because of the honesty, let's just say, the many stories recounted about the brilliant honesty within regards to the great Rabbi itself. So Rabbi Chamoula was survived by his wife and his sons, Rabbi Shmuel Chamoula, and another son he would have, and I think, and his daughter Frida would have, at the time of passing, I believe in 2004, 9 grandchildren, and included among his siblings Rabbi Ezra Chamoula, Rabbi Eliyahu Chamoula, and his sister Iris Chamoula, and all of them will continue his ways. And I think both his sons and the son-in-laws, great Talmidei Chamim. And I think at the Levoya and the Arayot, if I'm not mistaken, the family expressed gratitude, I think at that point in time, to Hatzalah, and in particular the crew who responded to his heart attack in March, for the exceptional works in working continuously for the 40 minutes until they got his pulse going again. And I think there would be a mention about Rabbi Weber at the time of his funeral, the founder of Hatzalah, who constantly offered the family chizuk and hope during the most difficult times in ICU. Now, I believe he passed away on May the 17th, and it was exactly 49 days after his heart attack. The numerical of Lev Tov, a good heart, is also 49. And while we know that he had Lev Tov, this is what the author writes, this article which I'm quoting over, in the spiritual sense, it turned out to be true in the physical sense also as well. And in the end, and was an infection, I think, that he acquired in the hospital, exhausted his life and not his heart. But Rabbi Shmuel Miller, I think, said once in the end, the specifics of how he passed away are irrelevant, because the only reason his soul departed was because Hashem wanted him back. So very, very interesting. He was a great rabbi of his time. He passed away, I think, in 2004. We're talking about 21 years ago. Here from the time of recording. Now, friends, we have got nearly 7,500 subscribers on the channel. So please subscribe now. Join the community over here. We're growing from strength to strength at the moment. We've already recorded over 1,250 biography videos of great rabbis of yesteryear. So please subscribe. At the moment, we don't just record videos of great rabbis of yesteryear here on this channel. We also tour around the entire country. We travel all over Israel. We're going all over Jerusalem, the city of Bet Shemesh, and various other places also. And we're traveling and exploring. So please, once again, subscribe to the channel and help the channel grow. Now, we're a community over here at the moment. We have got, I think, currently about 7,500 subscribers. So if you can all subscribe to the channel, that'll be very, very much appreciated. And if you feel anyone's interested in joining the channel also, please share the videos with other people and forward to everyone else to subscribe. Also on this channel over here, we do biography videos of great rabbis. Yes, sir. Yeah, we've recorded about 1,250 great rabbanim from the, let's just say, the Ottoman countries. We're trying to look at North African countries, the Asian countries, all over the Spanish countries, also the Sephardic territories, respectively, where really they've touched and made an impact. Subscribe to the channel and look at the stories of tzaddikim. That's where we have the biography videos very much mentioned in and featured in. Also, we also do over videos of the weekly Torah portion, the Parshat Shavua, on the Hebrew month. Also, we try and look at, explore also video tidbits. Another interesting thing that we do here on this channel is we will record with a great rabbinic personality of current year, or a great Jewish personality, and get some wisdom over, and we put it inside the channel for everyone to share and to enjoy and to get chizuk from, because we feel it's very, very important that we don't just do Israel advocacy and Jewish heritage and history on this channel. We very much imbue everyone with a Torah advocacy like none other. Very interesting. Another thing I like to do over here in this series is to record videos at different locations. I think it's very interesting. It helps me remember what I said inside the videos, and very much I think keeps people more interested also. So we're recording this just for Shabbat, Parshat Ki Tetzei this Shabbat. It's the largest parsha of mitzvot. It contains 74 mitzvot, and yeah, very, very interesting. And it just shows that we should be keeping mitzvot the whole time, to see blessings all over Israel, good things happening for all of us, and B'ez Hashem, we can all celebrate together, learn together, and grow together like a community. I'll leave you with some of the scenes here of the street I'm in, here in the city of Bet Shemesh, as we will just go back. And if I'm not mistaken, I think a family member of Rabbi Shmuel, who we're speaking about today, will also have an integral part, I believe, of the SSC, the Shehebar Sephardic Centers. So seemingly it was a key, famous family. This family was doing huge amounts of chesed for the whole of Am Yisrael all throughout Jewish history. So very important we see this. And I recommend, we did a few videos on, we're going to try and maybe record a video about the history of the Sephardic Syrian community. That's something I think that we're going to try and concentrate on in a future video, because seemingly he wasn't just, obviously he was from Alexandria and was famous Egyptian family in of itself, but they would take an integral part within regards to the whole of Sephardic Jewry. And what's unique about him, seemingly he had lots of key ties to many great American rabbis. Obviously, Rabbi Avigdor Miller, which is very, very interesting. So maybe we'll try and record about Rabbi Avigdor Miller at one stage, hopefully. We will. And about many more of the great rabbis of his specific era. So yeah, so it was great recording with you. And just gonna take on a drive now at the moment here in Eretz Israel, which is nothing like it. And yeah, we're just growing more and more. If once again, if any of you out there, you descend from any great rabbis, please let me know their names, and we'll try and look into them. And maybe if we haven't recorded a video yet about a great chacham, one of the great chachams, we will try in due course to record about them and grow and learn more about them. One other thing I would urge everyone to do, if you can, please learn more about these great rabbis. There's so many great rabbis from all these Sephardic countries of yesteryear, that it's just important we educate the next generation within regards to them. And you know, these are all great role models that many of us, it will imbue us with encouragement, so much encouragement to become better and to become more knowledgeable and more well-grounded in general, and have a greater breadth of Jewish education, which I feel is very, very important. So that's very good. And yeah, wishing you all well. Wishing you all a great day. Take care, and thanks for watching. Thank you.